So today we're working on a 2014 Chevy Silverado, 1500 4x4, looks like a regular cab. Yeah, it's a regular cab. And the customer reports that he parked at the marina and came back out from where he was and went to start the vehicle, and it acted as if the battery was disconnected. There was power when he opened the door, but then the power went away, almost as if the battery cable was loose or something like that, which he says he's checked and confirmed. We're going to throw a network scan on this thing and see if there's any fault codes that would help us determine the cause of the problem. So here we go. We're going to scan this vehicle and see if there's any codes that'll give us a hint as to what might have been going on. There are no warning lights on the dash now other than a TPMS issue. So this Veris Edge is going to automatically ID the vehicle. There it is, 2014 Silverado. Okay. And we'll do a code scan. Immobilizer key incorrect. Low voltage control module, power circuit voltage below threshold, invalid data from body control module. And that was in the ABS. The body control module has low voltage codes, security sensor data, license lamp problems, no environment identifier received from. Interesting. Brake pedal position sensors, circuit short to ground, and then we got all the tire pressure sensors. Low voltage in the HVAC controller, LIN bus error, low speed CAN bus problem. Interesting. IPC has low voltage codes. Radio has low voltage codes. Starting to see a pattern here. Most bus performance. I think we better check for TSBs, case histories on this before we get carried away here. All these low voltage codes would tend to point towards a battery cable connection, power feed, something like that. Anyways, let's see if this thing is finished scanning the laundry list here. Just a few codes. A low snap-on, you'd add a scroll bar to the side of this software. Anyways. So it's finished scanning 16 controllers. Okay, I'm going to look for TSBs on this problem. So I've ID'd the vehicle by VIN number and Identifix, and I just did a keyword search for low voltage, and I'm not really seeing anything here. Misfires. Maybe I'll try a keyword search for one of the fault codes that I had related to low voltage. C0800, I'll try that one. See if that comes up, because that is a low voltage code. Reduce power steering assist, engine stall. Let's see what this bulletin suggests. I know these vehicles have an issue with the fuse panel, so I think I'm going to go and have a look at the fuse panel. What's this going on here? HVAC going blank, wipers continue to run, Poor BCM ground at G218 in front of the dash insulator. Mat may be trapped between the ground eyelet. No, I don't think we have a BCM ground issue. Well, I'm going to do a little bit more searching off camera. So I took the brace bar off the fender here so I could access this electrical center above the battery here. I've checked the battery cables. Both cables appear to be clean and tight. I've checked this harness here connector. I'm not sure what those two heavy red wires are for, but they are clean. I put some dielectric grease. All these bolts are tight. So we're going to have a look at the fuse panel on the other side over here. See if there's any corroded fuses or corroded relays in here. So I got the fuse panel out of this thing, and it looks absolutely pristine. No signs of any corrosion or connection issues under there. And this main feed cable coming in appears to be clean and tight. No oxidized terminals. The cover looks like it was well sealed. So I'm kind of at a loss here. I'm not finding any case histories on it. Nothing specific. So I put dielectric grease on the connections underneath this fuse panel. I'm going to put some dielectric grease on these terminals too as well. And like I said, I'm going to check for some more case histories or TSBs. Starting to lean towards possibly checking grounds too as well. So I thought I'd do a keyword search for this P0513 immobilizer key incorrect on Identifix, and I came across this TSB which has that fault code in it. No crank, start then immediate stall, service engine light, MIL, service four-wheel drive, relay clicking, inspect ignition 1 voltage. So in this TSB it mentions that there's a couple of relays. You may hear relays clicking, which he did mention he's had. He didn't mention anything about service four-wheel drive or this problem where the engine might stay running with the ignition off until the door is opened. It could be caused by a loss of ignition 1 voltage. There are 2 KR73 relays, one located in the under hood fuse block and the other in the left IP fuse block, that both provide power to several different. So either of those relays could be causing the issue. Terminal issues at the fuse block, which I've looked at. I might take another closer look at these specific terminals mentioned here, and also circuit 5199 under the driver's sill plate. There's a picture of 5199. I guess a splice. I'm gonna have to look at that 5199. Interesting. So I got the sill plate off here, and looking at there's a considerable amount of salt underneath here. This wiring harness is pretty crusty looking, so we're gonna have to inspect this a little closer. So I got the top cover off this sill plate and wiring harness in here, and I'm wondering if this is the splice that is a concern. Doesn't look compromised, but there are several splices in here. Wow, this is just nasty. Don't see anything obvious just yet. So there's a couple of relays in behind the driver side fuse panel. You must remove the fuse panel and flip it out, and the relays are in behind. These are 2 relays here. One is the run crank relay, and the second one is the top one is the retained accessory relay. Those 2 relays there. Now if I look at these relays with the infrared camera, the top one is pretty warm. I mean, it's not uncommon for a relay to get warm. I've had the key on and a booster on this thing for probably 45 minutes now. But I'm going to have a look at those relay terminals. So I don't know if the camera is going to see this, but if you look at pin 30 of that relay, which is just below the wiring harness here, you can see some slight green corrosion in there. Now, why there would be some corrosion on that terminal, considering the rest of the fuse panel looks pristine, I don't know. Well, we're going to take this fuse panel out and have a look at it. So I got the fuse panel out. Although the rest of the fuse panel looks clean, that one terminal for some reason is oxidized. I'll pull this other relay out and have a look at it. Well, isn't that special? So you tell me how moisture gets in the back of this. Now that second relay, the one I just took out here that you can see the bottom of it, would be the run crank relay. Oh, lovely. Well, we'll try and clean that up. Hopefully that's the cause of the problem. It's not doing it now, so it's difficult to tell, but definitely that's a concern. So to get this fuse panel apart, there are 10 release tabs that have to simultaneously be compressed. So what I did was I worked a needle into them to hold them in the released position so that I could get the panel separated. I'm going to pull the back off this thing now. So got the back off, and looking inside here, this is the 3 pins at the bottom here that showed oxidation on the outside of the panel, but the inside of the panel looks pretty darn clean. We're going to crimp those pins just to make them a little tighter and clean them up with a diamond file, and put some dielectric grease and put a new relay in there. So I've cleaned up all those with diamond file, and I've re-crimped them with a pair of needle nose. I'll maybe do this one up here in the top corner one more time. And we're going to put it all back together again with a new relay. So I took this relay apart, and as you can see there's corrosion inside the relay on the contacts. Now how that water, moisture, condensation, whatever got in there, I have no clue. Now this is a 5-pin relay, and it's a high power relay, but the 87A pin, which is the middle one here, is not utilized according to the schematic here when I'm looking at the diagram. I forget where it is now. Yeah, there it is there. It shows it's only using 30 and 87, so I put a 4-terminal high power relay in there because I don't have a 5-terminal one, and hopefully that's going to fix the problem. Well, it's back together and running. Did a network code clear, put everything back together again, and only time is going to tell if that actually was the cause of the problem, because it wouldn't do it for me when I had it here. Didn't see anything wrong with the wiring under the driver's sill plate, but we'll see what happens in the future with this thing.